Hello everybody, this is Gregory with how I lost over 100 pounds and I've kept it off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitancy in your weight loss and in your weight maintenance. Today I'm going to talk about my products and why and how they might be useful to you. Now before we begin, if you need help with coaching, weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my links for my website, my podcast, and all the things I'm about to talk about. And if you appreciate my content, there is a link for PayPal, and hit the like button. All right, so I do mention these things at the beginning. Like, there's a lot of content creators that will mention them all the time. I mean, there's people who do live streams and like, I'm gonna stop this live stream unless I get 300 likes and $100 a donate. I'm not that guy, but I will push my content at the beginning, and then let's get to the actual good stuff. So why should you go to these second things? Okay, let's start with the coaching. I mean, look, I've proven I've done it. So if you need help from someone who's actually done it, I'm a good person to choose, because I can tackle it from the psychological point of view, especially if you have disordered eating going back to your childhood, or even disordered eating from your adulthood. I was there, man. This is why I have Confessions of an Obese Child and Reflections of a Weight Loss Warrior. It's to serve as a confessional, and I find it to be cathartic to talk about it, and it might help you realize that there's others who went through what you went through. And so just to have somebody in your camp that you can talk things out with, and I'm not saying I'd be a necessarily accountability partner or anything like that, but somebody you talk to once a month, once every 2 months or something like that might be useful, in addition to your trainer or your dietitian. But understand, your trainer is like 24 years old and is typically in shape and knows nothing about disordered eating and the stigma of obesity and what it's like to be a fat person. They don't. I mean, you want people in different things in your arsenal, your quiver, so to speak. And to have a trainer who certainly is going to be more adept and competent in like how to do a burpee than I would, that's important to have. Sure, you want to have a dietitian if you want a dietitian, but having somebody like me who's gone through it and has proven he can do it for 30 years, I think is useful. So the coaching calls, I think, could be useful. I charge very reasonably. It's only $2 a minute. So again, you talk as long or as little as you need, and then we go from there. The website. I'm not going to get hit by a car. I'm on an Esplanade. The website is a beautiful site. I created that in 2017, and it's all WordPress, but my ex really helped me, especially with that design in the front and some other stuff. But there are tons of articles there. And I want to say that probably the thing I'm most proud of are the recipes. So there was a time where I would write a recipe a day. And so there's probably about 350 recipes there. If you go to the home page, there's a little magnifying glass, and you can type in chocolate, and it'll pull up everything that has chocolate in it, or garlic, or whatever it is. Most of the recipes are going to be paleo-esque, or low carb, or dairy-free. And a lot of them, probably about 70% of them, are going to fall into the category of desserts and appetizers, because those are the two things I like. So I have like cauliflower pizza. I have like 3 different ice cream recipes that don't have dairy. I have baklava. I mean, there's hundreds of recipes in there, and you can print out the little thing, and it shows you how many, what's the ingredient, what's the size, how to bake it. So I would really recommend this, because all of those are typically low carb, keto-esque, and they're all like clean ingredients. You're not getting any preservatives at all. I have a great recipe for dark chocolate peanut butter cups or almond butter cups. I have like 7 recipes for smoothies, and there's great articles there. I do a review of the most popular dark chocolate brands. I have a review of the most popular kombuchas. I have a review of the most popular non-dairy milk. So there's just tons of articles there. So I would really recommend you go to the website. Also, the website has all of my podcasts from all 3 feeds. I have a female health specific podcast called the Female Holistic Health Apothecary, in addition to the Awakened Man, because the Awakened Man is more like men specific, but a lot of the topics are really universal. So it has links to that. It has links to the books and other things like that. The podcast. So the Awakened Man originally started as Naturopathic Earth Radio. Naturopathy is just the belief that we should use non-big pharma stuff first. That's essentially first. So clean eating, good sleeping, aromatherapy, botanical science, herbs, like all this stuff that we use for a long time. And we should use these things to prevent ourselves from getting hypertension, high cholesterol, insomnia, and all these things, and try to stay away from the big pharma solutions. I'm not saying there isn't a place for allopathic medicine. Certainly, as I mentioned before, if I get shot in the abdomen, I'm not going to rub mint essential oil on it. But I think certainly allopathic medicine is way too big pharma oriented, and I talk about that quite a bit on the Awakened Man podcast. So anyways, I renamed it about 2 years ago. But if you go through the episodes, there's probably about 360. It's mostly going to be, I guess what people would say would be medical cover-ups or medical conspiracy theories, but they're not conspiracy theories because in the early episodes in particular, I glean off of an article or a journal and then talk about it. There's tons of articles about weight loss or episodes on weight loss. I do have some on vaccines. I have quite a bit on big pharma cover-ups. So if you're kind of into all that, just go to the Awakened Man and just browse through all the episodes and check them out. And if you have an Apple product or a Spotify product, or on Spotify, post a review because it helps with the algorithm. What else? The books. The books, I would tell you, Confessions of an Obese Child is a more fleshed out version of the YouTube channel series I'm doing here. And I think it's pretty well written. It's much funnier, I think, than the treatment I'm doing here. Revelations of a Weight Loss Warrior is the book about how I lost the weight and how you can lose the weight. If you have Kindle, I think it's free. But if you don't, if you want the paperback, I think it's like $10. So check that out as well. And I want to say that's all my content. The podcasts, the books. I plan to do courses here. I already have links for Teachable in all the episodes. And I eventually will have some courses that have to do with this. But right now, it's mostly check out the articles, check out the podcast episodes. And if you love essential oils, the Female Holistic Health Apothecary originally started by my ex-fiance. There's like 67 essential oil episodes there. So, I mean, if you're into that, by all means, check that out. And then again, the coaching too is very useful if you want to try that out. Guys, post in the comments. Love to hear from you. Hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Until next time, take care. God bless and pray.